I've been playing the violin for almost 20 years now, and that means I've developed quite a special relationship with the strings. There are 4 on the violin, and there's the bowhair. And I wanted to consolidate my experiences with this handful of strings into a story of a musical journey that I hope you will find interesting and also relatable. One of the first usages of strings in our history was to make fire. There was this bow with attached strings that generated friction and eventually caused fire. And I wanted to convey this imagery of the increasing tension that a fire needs with the first 2 pieces of the album. The album opens with the piece by Hildegard von Bingen, an extraordinary woman from the medieval times. She wrote the origin of fire for voice, and I have arranged it to be played also by the violin. The musical depiction of fire is then followed by a piece by Nicolas Métaise, alia Fantasia, which consists of sheer arpeggios. An arpeggio is a chord that's spread out and for violin to be played by multiple strings. Like so. And one can hear an accumulation of tension through these arpeggios as if a little spark intensifies and becomes a flame. Corelli published his set of 12 sonatas for violin and continuo, Opus 5, on January 1st, 1700. And this was no coincidence. I believe Corelli knew that this work would herald a new musical era. La Folia is the last sonata of the set, and one can hear how versatile and extravagant violin had become. One of the things that made Corelli's music so imposing was the embellishments. Although it's not written in music, players could take the liberty of adding and even altering the notes to great extent, which showed their creativity and musical taste. And it is in this spirit that I wanted to present this piece. There are 2 pieces in this album that remind of the so-called gypsy style, but I wouldn't say they are in the same vein. Schedrin's Gypsy Melody is a representation of gypsy music in a rather raw form. It exploits the technique and gestures that are quite innate to gypsy violin playing. Ravel's Tzigane, on the other hand, is something of a more refined nature, where the Ravelian style of color and exoticism is, if not more, as predominant as the gypsy gestures. These 2 works are capable of communicating a very personal side of violin playing, where violinistic tools like intonation and slides are very much at play. I wanted to end the album with Charino's Second Caprice for violin solo. This piece is made of harmonics, which are produced by not fully pressing the strings, but just hovering on them. Like so. The tension is now gone, and all we have left with is a wash of tones, as if a fire has finally extinguished, and its ashes are fluttering around the surface.